Entertainment is a way in which we manufacture escapism, a temporary holiday into a world separate from ours that, though fictional, still provides psychological nourishment. Video games, being an interactive medium, are an intuitive way to immerse ourselves into a new reality. A video game developer artificializes life to forge a world that responds to the player's presence and suspend disbelief. For this we use artificial intelligence, better known as AI, to program NPCs or non-playable characters. In my game Gigabit Labyrinth, I have constructed how the player can see the world and how the player can interact with the world. Now it's time to see how the world can interact with the player. Hi, this is Super Dev Bros, a series that documents the progress of my game and the game design guiding it. When designing AI, it's important to consider what its purpose is.
I will destroy humans.
How it will interact and react with the player. Now, it may seem complicated, but if you break it down to simple steps, programming AI can be straightforward. For example, I have this very high poly, super detailed character as my NPC. Beautiful. Now, I want this NPC to acknowledge when the player is in a specific range, then look at it. To do this, we need the NPC to see, so I used eyeballs. Very nice. Absolutely amazing. Wait. Because the eyeballs failed, we instead need to dictate how the NPC can see the player by using an object to represent its senses. So in this case, I have this simple 3D object to represent its peripheral vision. Great. Let's call it field of view, or FOV for short. Very good. Then I use this object as a trigger collider. A collider is an invisible object that deals with physical interactions, or in other words, it's what stops objects from going through each other. Now a trigger removes the physical interaction, but instead executes a script or action on collision. This means if something collides or touches the object, you can program a reaction accordingly. So I program the NPC to use that trigger collider to cause an event that will acknowledge that the player has touched or is inside the object. Now I'm using Playmaker to clearly show what's happening. With this, the boxy character now knows that the player is in its field of view. Awesome. However, a boxy character sucks. So let's instead plant an actual character. That's better. So now that the NPC acknowledges that the player is in its field of view, we can now tell it to do something while this is happening. For example, let's have the character look at the player if the player has triggered the FOV collider. Nice. You can, in a sense, use triggers as a gateway to all kinds of actions. For example, let's make another collider for when the player gets close. Now, when this NPC is in this state or situation, it will wait for you to press a button prompt. In this case, select. Then, it will initiate the dialogue actions. So the sequence of actions basically looks like this. Stupendous. And it's as simple as that. You see, artificial intelligence may seem daunting to attempt because of the concept of giving something intelligence, especially when you lack intelligence, but it can actually be something straightforward. Now, this is just one way to populate a world of NPCs and AI. Seeming as my game is a platformer, it's natural to create AI as obstacles. This will make the challenge in the game more dynamic. So, I made this ant-like creature. I even gave it some death animation. Now, I want this to be the most basic enemy, like Goombas in Super Mario. So, I make it translate or move forwards. Cool. Wait, not cool. Okay, so now this guy needs to understand that there's a wall there. So let's give him some senses. But instead of using colliders, it would be more handy to use raycasts. Now I've got to explain that too. A raycast is self-explanatory. It's a virtual ray that is cast out for the purpose of attaining information from the object that it hits, whether it be the identity of an object, if there's even an object there, the angle of the surface, and we can even dictate what surface it can hit. But let's keep it simple. I'm using the ray sensor from Sensors Toolkit because the visual feedback is there and it's easier for demonstrating this. So the process is simple. I have this ray, it just needs to sense whether or not the NPC is about to bump into the wall. If this is the case, the NPC will get knocked back, then turn 180 degrees. Awesome. Raycasting is a very convenient way of telling an NPC what's happening, so that you can program how it will react. For example, I have a short ray casting right below the NPC, so it can detect the ground. Very nice. There is so many different things you can use Raycast for, detecting if there's a drop in front, determining how high or how far it can jump. The possibilities are endless. This is just the beginning for bringing more life to the game, so there'll be many more sequential episodes on AI. It is really fun and interesting to see the many ways NPCs behave. Did that ant just kill itself? But there is still lots of work to do on the interactions between the game world and the player. For example, the player is still defenseless, so the next level will focus on attack mechanics. That's it for this video. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. I'm definitely bringing a lot more content on the way, and also my Twitter handle will be in the description, so make sure to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next level.